guys, Naturally Creative Mama here with a new tutorial. Today we're going to be working on this wood sign. Just a home decor item you can use to put a wreath on. You can use it behind whatever you want. But today I was using some pallet wood that I actually found at my local Lowe's, and it's really inexpensive and it looks really awesome. So I'm just cutting these to the size that I wanted here, and you can kind of see there the texture on it. You can see the little lines where the saw went through on them originally. Looks pretty cool, kind of rustic, so I liked that. So I'm laying them out just the way I want them, and then I'm going to just measure the length of it for the longest side of my frame, and I'm just using a piece of lattice. You can find that with the dimensional boards at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever store you like to go to, and I'm just cutting that to size for the frame. I'm having 2 longer sides and then 2 shorter sides. Excuse me. And so I got the long sides measured, and now I'm putting them in place so I can measure that shorter side. And then taking it back to my miter saw and just cutting those shorter sides real quick. The great thing about this lattice is super lightweight, it's really flexible, and it's really easy to work with. So don't be intimidated. And now I'm just fitting those pieces on to make sure that my cuts were correct. You never know. You always want to measure twice and cut once, right? So nobody likes to have ones that are too short. So these ones look pretty good. I'm happy with the way those are looking. So I'm taking this wood stain. This is my favorite stain. It's Briar Smoke by Varathane, and I get mine at Home Depot. And just using an old t-shirt that I cut up, just a cotton t-shirt, and staining these lattice pieces really quickly. The one thing that I love about this Varathane stain is that you really only need 1 coat, and it provides really good coverage on these pieces. Now I'm not looking for the color to match the pallet wood, but I'm going to be painting these white and distressing them. So I want that darker color to show through where I'm going to distress the edges a little bit. That way we're not seeing the light brown color underneath. Instead, we're going to see this beautiful dark brown stain. If you've never stained before, don't worry, super easy. You want to dip it in your stain, wipe it on, and then wait a few seconds, and using the back of your cloth or even a different cloth, just wipe some of that stain off. That way it goes on evenly. And this lattice is really soaking up the stain quickly, so it's drying pretty fast as I'm doing it. This is a fun, easy project you can do with minimal tools. I just used my miter saw. That was the only thing I really had to use as far as tools go for this project. So I let those dry for a couple hours, and then I'm taking just this white paint that I have. It's actually the same paint that I use for the wood signs that I have available in my Etsy shop. It's just a flat paint that I got from Lowe's, and I'm just coating these lattice pieces with the paint. There really isn't an easy way to do this without getting paint all over your fingers. I totally tried, and no matter what I did, I still got white paint all over my fingers. But I just went through with a sponge brush and painted a quick, thin coat on these lattice pieces. I actually painted them on 3 sides because the way that I'm putting the frame onto the pallet wood, it's going to show on 3 sides. So I stained all 4 just in case anything were to show on the back side. I'm not really thinking it will, but I went ahead and stained the 4 sides of the lattice just in case, but I'm only painting the top side and then the edges with the white paint. And I'm not super concerned with where I'm touching it. Like I said, I'm going to distress these a little bit. So as I paint them, there's tiny marks on there from my fingerprints, but I'm not worried about it. So once I did one coat on the 3 sides of my lattice, I went back and just did another thin coat over just the tops of them. I wanted to make sure that when they dried that they looked white instead of looking whitewashed. So I did just another thin coat, and I really didn't wait for it to dry necessarily. By the time I was done with the edges of the first one, or the last one, the first one was mostly dry, so I just went right back over it. And then I let these dry for another couple hours. Really, probably, it was about an hour and a half. It is actually pretty humid outside today where I'm at, so I went back with my sanding block, and as I did it, they were still a little bit moist just from the moisture in the air, but it gave me this cool effect on the wood. And so I went ahead and just kind of went with it. I kept sanding, and I used the hard corners of the sanding block there, and it kind of tore off some of the paint on the inside of the lattice, and I really liked the way it looked. So it was pretty cool. Now you can try and recreate that, but really, you know, when you're distressing anything, it's just going to kind of do what it wants. You know, there's lots of different techniques you can use. I just prefer to sand it. So I'm laying out the pallet wood here and setting my frame pieces on top so that I can decide which way I want them to face and just kind of get them in place here so I can nail them on. Now you can look at the way that the wood distressed and kind of go with that as far as how you set it up. Just look at the way it looks and decide what you like. No real rhyme or reason to it. So I went ahead, I just moved it over so you could see better with the camera, and I used these tiny nails. These are actually brad nails. They're about 1/2 inch, and I'll try and put the link down below to the nails and the glue that I used, as well as the pallet wood if I can find it online. But I put some of this wood glue on there, just on the lattice. You don't want too much because it will squeeze out a little bit. And I grabbed my clamps and just clamped it down onto my little workbench so that it would stay in place while I grabbed the nails and put the nails in. Now I had 3 pieces of pallet wood, so I just put 2 nails into each piece of the pallet wood through the lattice piece. Some of them kind of gave me some trouble, and I think it's just where there were spots on the pallet wood that were maybe a little rougher than other spots. So I actually had one nail that bent quite a bit and I had to pull it out. But where the hammer was hitting the nails and it was taking off some of the white paint, and it just made it look more rustic. So I was totally fine with that. So once I did the 2 long sides with 2 nails each in the pallet pieces, I went ahead and put on the smaller sides. And for these ones, I just put 1 nail in the middle and a nail at each end just to hold it on. And really the glue is going to be what holds your frame onto your wood. The nails are just kind of there to hold it in place while the glue dries. So, you know, you don't have to worry too much about it. And there we go. It is all put together. Super easy. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.